Hello there, Alaskans, wherever you are. Welcome to the Must Read Alaska Show. Coming to you from somewhere in Alaska. This is the place where we talk about, you guessed it, Alaska. Where we keep the mainstream media on their toes and where we are standing up for what's right in a world run by leftists. You can find out more by heading over to mustreadalaska.com and also checking out the Must Read Alaska YouTube channel for some really great content. But first, let's get this party started.
Well, welcome everybody to the Must Read Alaska Show. I'm your host, John Quick, coming to you live from somewhere in Alaska. And boy, do we have a treat for you today. But before we go into our very special guest, I want to thank everybody for tuning into the Must Read Alaska Show. And I want to thank folks for everybody who listens, watches, and reads Must Read Alaska. We're not funded by some dark money web. We're funded by everyday folks that give $5, $10, $100 at a time. So if you really, really love Must Read Alaska, go to mustreadalaska.com. On the right-hand side there's a little donate button, and feel free to give $5, $10. We're funded by everyday Alaskans, not huge nonprofit conglomerates. So we really appreciate all the funds that come in from everyday folks all throughout the year. And we're very thrilled today to have a very, very special guest, Speaker of the House, Cathy Tilton. Welcome to the Must Read Alaska Show.
Good morning, Jonathan, and good morning, Must Read Alaska.
Well, I can't tell you how excited the conservative crowd is that you are the speaker. It's been a somber, 6 years ever since Mike Chenault left. Take me back a little further than that, Speaker. Tell me the story of what got you involved in wanting to run for office in the first place. Give us a peek under the hood of kind of what was it, what was that? Everybody's got their story. What was your story?
Jonathan, I had not really planned to run for office. That was not in the cards for me, but I think we are all called. God doesn't qualify call the qualified, he qualifies the called. And so I have had a lot of faith that he would get me through where we're at to where we're at today. I started back as a staffer for a senator here from the Mat-Su, and then I went on to be a budget staff for another representative, and got to know the health and social services budget, which was just a fascinating thing for me to get a peek into the inside of state government and how the budget works. It really was eye-opening to learn so much about the budget. We all come into things with our own prejudices of how things work, and so during that time period, we put together this interim look at the HES department, where we went through all the different divisions and did this kind of this overview of each one of them. And I think that was really great, not just for myself, but for the legislature and for Alaskans, because we involved them in that process, and it was done during the interim. So that was kind of the first starts here. Representative Stoltz at that time decided he was going to run for Senate, and it was an opportunity. There was a lot of discussion. There was another gentleman who I was working with who had considered running for the seat, and he kept encouraging me to run, and so and he was kind of making decisions. So what ended up happening was that he decided that he wasn't going to run, and I said, well, I made a decision. I'm going to run for office, and if you decide to come back in, I'm still going to run for office. And so that was the beginning of it all.
Nice. So I assume that patience has been a good word that the minority has used in the last 6 years. Talk to me a little bit about what that looked like, for the last 6 years, because I think a lot of people think, okay, you're elected now, go get all this work done, right? And then you get stuck in the minority and it's a whole different ballgame.
You're not wrong there. It's a different, understanding the differences between majority and minority can be difficult because it's kind of its own culture, but we did end up, my first year I was a majority member. I was the sole chair of CRA, and that was absolutely fabulous because that gave me some policy work, and I had budget work already. So I felt, I think I just got rid of myself. Sorry.
There you go. You're back.
Moving all my hands. So I had a policy back. I got policy. I had budget, and that makes you a little well-rounded to see how all of those things work together. But then in the next year, we ended up landed in the minority, and that was certainly a different place. I like to say it's a nice place to visit, but you certainly don't want to live there. You do get to see things from a different perspective. And I think one of our goals as the minority and jobs as a minority is something that you can't tangibly see, because we're stopping bad things from happening. We went on from this first year, the first 2 years, the second 2 years, and in the third 2 years, built this amazing team of 18 Republicans that were banding together. And I think that over the years, it was just a matter of solidifying the members. We had kind of a strategy this year to solidify our own team, because that's really important to solidify your own team, and then work on getting others to join you. And that's what we did over the campaign season, to bring other people in. And, unfortunately, the Lord didn't bless us with a full Republican majority. The numbers might be there, but not everybody's playing well together. Sometimes that happens. So we knew when we came into this session that we were going to have to find some other folks to work with, and that's what we did.
Well, that's exciting. I can't tell you how excited conservatives are. I haven't seen conservatives this excited about anything in the House in a long time. Last 6 years. And so, tell me what this means for you to be the Speaker of the House. I'm sure it's comes with a lot of responsibility, a heavy weight, a big burden, but there's also an exciting part of it. Talk to me a little bit about what this means for you.
Really, thanks, Jonathan. What this means for me is, over the years, what I've noticed is that we have diminished the decorum and diminished the respect for ourselves and each other, and therefore the respect for Alaska. So one of the main things that I want to work on and happen is bringing some respect back to the legislature. And I think that starts inside this body by following the rules. I mean, wow, that concept, right? Follow the rules. So I think that's a starting point, and bringing communications back up to a level where we're communicating with each other, and we're doing something with transparency. One of the things that the one start for doing transparency was that we had our committee meetings publicly, and for the last 6 years, those have been done behind closed doors. And so the first step in having some transparency, we just did that. And and when I first stepped up on the dais, I wanted to make it clear to everybody, as Speaker of the House, I understand that we have different policy thoughts in the paths that we want to go down. But as far as a body, I am looking forward to installing some of that decorum and respect back. And that's really what I'm going to work on.
Well, I think that's great. I think one of the things that Mike Chenault was always good at was two things: getting conservative things done, but also giving the other team the accessibility to say what they needed to say when they wanted to say it, even if he disagreed with them. So I think that we've lacked that for the last 6 years. Conservatives have kind of felt silenced and things done behind closed doors. And so I think both sides of the aisle are going to appreciate that kind of an atmosphere. So I think that's a good thing. Talk to me a little bit about, some high level things of, what are some things that the House might think about tackling this year? I know obviously the budget, permanent funds are going to be on the shelf again. We got probably defined benefits are going to be on the shelf. What are some things that you guys are excited about to talk amongst yourself and to work out as the House?
We haven't sat down as a team and really drafted this up, but I have to say that we are joined with with the rural Alaska. Traditionally had happened before, and so we have some like and shared goals and and shared thoughts. And one of those things is looking for some fiscal stability and a long-term fiscal plan. We may not all agree on what that looks like, even in the minority, we didn't all agree on everything and what that looks like. But we were able to bring the fiscal policy working group together, which was very diverse. That was because the minority, we pushed for that. So we were able to bring, two people from each caucus, Democrats, Republicans, Senate, House together. Now, this is a new session with a new body, with new folks. I'm excited about the energy of having so many new folks being elected this time, and they have a lot of great ideas. So if we can move forward where we're putting folks together and exploring ideas of how we can take care of the things that Alaskans want to have taken care of. Education is something that people are concerned about. Everybody wants their child to have a good education. And, and we say it's about the children. So let's take a look at that. I just finished an Empress reading this article in there about education. And I know that Alaska Policy Forum is working on some things for me on education that says that since 2019, up to 2022, I believe it was, if you look at the number of students versus the number of teachers versus the number of administration. So the administration has grown, students have grown, like just by a very small an age, right? Teachers have grown by a little bit more, but administration has grown by, 80% over that time period. Now that's nationwide. Policy Forum is working on getting those numbers for us. So let's look at what can we do to kind of make some, what kind of changes can be made to help with that? Is it healthcare costs? Do we need to look at how healthcare is structured for teachers and that kind of thing? There's a lot of creative things we can do besides just throwing some more money at things without any kind of accountability and those conversations on the record with Alaskans being a part of that.
So I know you have other meetings to go to, so I'll ask you one last question. First, I want to just say thank you so much for joining us. And I'm very excited that you are the new Speaker of the House, and I'm sure that there are folks all around Alaska that are very excited that you're the new Speaker of the House. You're welcome back anytime. But what is something, you are sitting in your couch or sofa 10 years from now and you're drinking your coffee. What's something that you hope to be remembered by as Speaker of the House?
The biggest thing that I would really my heart is for the House, of course, is to be able to do something for Alaska and Alaskans that they remember. Quite honestly, the biggest thing that would my heart is my children and my grandchildren are proud of what their grandmother or mother did for Alaska. I think it's, that they feel honored. I am very honored and humbled by having, the trust of my colleagues. So, honestly, if we can move forward with Alaska and have some stability where my grandchildren can feel, live the life where I was in the Alaska that I was raised in, that would be a great legacy.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Speaker, for joining us. And again, you're welcome back anytime. We wish you nothing but amazing success here the next couple of years. And I'm sure it's not all going to be easy, but I'm sure you're up for it. So thanks again for coming on, and you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. And I look forward to getting back with you here as things start to come together. I'd like to have more conversations to include Alaskans in that conversation. Just really appreciate I really appreciate you having me on today. Oh,
awesome. Well, thank you so much,
right.
Speaker. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye.